Hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Doodles to Dazzle. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Barbara.
And today we're going to be diving into the power of creating a creative tribe.
Yes, today we will be speaking about what is a creative tribe and why do I need it?
Yes, and a creative tribe, otherwise known as a community or a network of like-minded individuals or a mastermind group, however you want to put this, is just a group of people that are working mutually towards a certain set of goals or ideas and basically are growing in a positive way. Right, Barbara?
That's right. You know, when you're growing as an artist, there are moments that you need feedback, but there's also moments where you just need somebody to lift you up a little bit. So, you know, a tribe can have different meanings for different timings, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You know, so there's a lot of benefits to have a creative tribe. And we'll be going over a few of them.
Yes.
So
maybe you're struggling to find inspiration, or maybe you're struggling to be consistent in the time you put in the learning, in the growing, in the daily grind that goes towards your passion and you're developing your skills. And you need things like accountability or new diverse perspectives to inspire you, to help you out on your journey. And this is why a tribe can help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about learning together and to grow together, basically. We know more when you're with more people.
Yes.
So when you're exposed to other people, you get exposed to other insights or other things that they are exposed to.
Yes.
So naturally, your perspective will open also. You will grow yourself just by being exposed to more people.
Yes.
And as an artist, that's very important to do that.
Yeah. If you're looking for inspiration or motivation, a tribe can provide a constant source of inspiration, especially if you're in an online group. And it's a very common practice that in the group that they share photos. If you're a creative artist, you're an illustrator, for example, you might have many people in the group sharing their photos that give you insight into, oh, maybe I should try that myself. And that inspires you to also make a piece based on that inspiration. Or perhaps it's a challenge that another member of the tribe is doing, and you also feel like, okay, you want to do this challenge with them.
It could also be that, for example, you want to put your art out there, but you don't necessarily want to have feedback from just anybody.
Yes.
Because not all feedback is valuable for you when you're growing.
Yes.
And most
or
people
constructive.
or constructive. Most people don't know how to give proper feedback. So
No.
it can be very scary to take that step and show your work to everybody.
Yes.
To say so. So sometimes it can be a bit like a safe space for yourself to show your work without having to be afraid of the negative voices that could come. Maybe.
Yes.
You know.
The constructive criticism can help you find problem areas where you need to improve, things that you need to work on, refine your skills. And it's an opportunity for honest assessment, which can help you on your artistic journey, I would say. So yeah, creative, constructive feedback is always a good reason, especially if you are on your artistic journey, on your creative journey. If you're not open to feedback, it's going to be tough to grow people. So being part of a tribe will help you get that constructive feedback you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I do want to add that it's not always that feedback that you need. Sometimes you need emotional support.
Yes.
And that can also come from such a group. So it's not all about giving feedback. It's more in a group you can find what you need in a certain time, because we all want to grow and learn together.
Yes.
Right? And we all need different things at different times. And it's also our responsibility to say what we need in a group. And if for example, you put your work out there, maybe somebody, maybe in your circle or family and friends, maybe said something and made you feel like maybe it's not good enough or whatever. Maybe at that point, you can also reach out to your tribe and ask like, okay, this happened to me. What do I do? Is this true? How do you see it? And maybe that can help you, feel better.
Yes.
about the whole thing.
Yes, there have been many times where we're part of different groups on many channels, whether it's close friends who are also on their own creative journey, or just on an online Facebook group. And there are often times where you might just have an open, honest conversation where you're expressing, like, okay, I'm struggling with inspiration, or I'm struggling with some sort of emotional, you're going through an emotional struggle, or you need some help. And you will find that in these groups, people are willing to help because they themselves are on these journeys of them, their own journeys. And they also have had their moments where that emotional support is necessary, because it's also a safe space to vent and to just let out these feelings you might have, especially pertaining to your creative journey, which you might not openly share outside of your tribe. I know sometimes it can feel like that for Barbara and I, because we tend to do our creative, we've been on this artistic journey for a few years now. And I certainly feel like we tend to be a bit outsiders in the way we go about doing our things. And while we are very open about showing our work and also just talking about our journey, even through the podcast and everything, I do feel like we tend to be a bit how would you say it? Like the outsiders or the underdogs, or just a bit
Yeah.
not part of the main crowd.
Well,
Let me
the
put it
thing
that
is
way.
that, when you're an artist, you're doing things a bit different than normal people, right? You're not coming home after your 9 to 5 to then relax in front of the TV and then
Yes.
go to bed, or whatever routine, we are constantly busy with learning and growing and figuring out new things, taking on new challenges, getting inspiration. There's not a moment where we stop, and sometimes it can feel like you're all alone in that.
Yes.
It's not necessarily true, but that this
It's
is
a
why
feeling again, right? It's not
it's a
logical.
feeling.
It
Yeah,
might even not be true, but
yeah,
it feels that way because
yeah,
your journey is very independent, very individual.
yeah. It's
And
something very specific
yeah,
that not everybody in your surrounding does. So that's why it's important to find a group of people that is somehow similar in some kind of way. So it
yes,
doesn't necessarily have to be, okay, if you, for example, with us, we paint gouache, or that's one of our things that we do, that you only have to connect with those kind of people. You could connect with different kind of artists, and they can expose you to different kind of things also.
yes,
But it's the thing is that you are just, learning things together from each other. And in an artist way, you will, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but there will be more of a connect than in your normal circle, because
yes,
usually those are also very passionate people who are working towards some kind of goal. And in that way, I think you can relate.
yes. Yeah, it's hard to explain certain things. It's based on the emotional journey of a person, of an artist, and that can be quite different from, say, someone who's on a journey to be a lawyer or something else, for
It
example.
comes
Because
for sure with its own type of struggles,
yes,
for
and there
sure.
might be a lot of overlap in the kinds of struggles or the journey you might have, but it's different for us creatives. So we relate better with other creatives, and that's why it's nice to have people with similar journeys who are more likely to empathize with your own situation, with your own journey. And that also helps build friendships and camaraderie and make you feel like there's more than just you, or in our case, more than just us when we do our on this journey, knowing that there are so many other people out there trying to level up, be known artists or better artists, or just try to have their own creative expression and make it in this world as an artist or as a creative, is reassuring and feels like, hey, maybe if we all work together, maybe if we all hold our hands, we can all pull each other up the mountain, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer of that, of like lifting each other up.
Yes.
So I try to think of a way of abundance. So even if you have somebody who could be, I'd say, somebody who's doing something similar to you, so sort of competition, I don't want to believe in that kind of thing as competition, because that's thinking of scarcity. That's a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
So when you think from an abundance mindset again, then you can lift each other up. And trust me, you're gonna grow so much more when you think in that kind of way, because that way you're helping each other.
Yes.
And if you help that person, maybe that person will inspire you and help you with something else that you haven't thought of.
Yes.
That it can, these relationships, it can only help you grow together, together as people, together as a community as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, you can be a good artist by yourself if you want and walk this path by yourself, but you will find that it's just harder to navigate. It's harder to climb a mountain by yourself, but when you got a group of people to do it with, then you're likely to climb it faster. It's not impossible to do it by yourself, but you want to grow fast.
It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut.
It's a shortcut.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
And then there are other things that also open up when you're part of a tribe or a group, is that they might bring in or connect with other people, might bring in or connect with more people that they know. So there's more opportunities to network, to connect with people who could actually be willing to, I don't know, do collaborative projects with you perhaps, or would be willing to commission your work. Or in our case, it's because of going out there, connecting, being part of a group that we got before that, we've gotten business before.
Yeah, several clients.
Several clients, or opportunities to work on branding projects or graphic design, which is coming up soon. So it's all through having a tribe of people who are there to lift you up, who are there to connect with you, or who already have connections who would be interested in working with you. That's another huge point about having a tribe.
Yeah. Another big one, I think it can be hard when you're by yourself trying to pursue something, to keep showing up, especially when things get tough.
Mm-hmm.
And a tribe can help you in that way for that accountability. You can ask somebody like, hey, can you remind me? Or you can maybe take on a challenge together, and then seeing the other person work on it, and seeing them do that, you will feel like, oh my God, I need a piece of that action.
Yes.
I need to do that. That's something that happens a lot with Charlie and myself, is that we see each other work, and then you're like, I want to do that too. I want to be awesome too. I want to do some work here too. And it's inspiring to see each other, and it's a bit of, it's accountability also to keep showing up. Like, we're still doing the Inktober challenge, and it's been a bit rough because we've been sick this last week. But still, we don't want to give up.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't miss a day. We've been at it every day.
Yeah.
And somehow I'm crazy enough to want to take up more challenges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which just keeps us more motivated, more, I don't know, it drives us. It keeps us going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel hungry, hungry for more. But that's also, being part of a tribe, that motivation, that inspiration, the accountability, just these are things that get so interwoven when you interact with other people, because their enthusiasm can infect you.
Yes.
And in fact, your enthusiasm can infect each other, because that's what it means to connect with people with similar values or similar interests or passion.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons that Barbara and I can really keep going on such a degree, because we don't have 9 to 5 with this sort of thing. We do this whenever, however we get a moment.
Yes.
From the parenting, from being husband and wife, where we just work on our craft, work on our journey of being artists. Because we came to this journey fairly late compared to many young people out there. We came in our 30s in this journey, so we have a lot of catching up to do.
And we're very hungry.
So we're very hungry to be better artists and to really grow. And that gives us a lot of drive, and we constantly are bouncing off each other's ideas. We're bouncing off the motivation from each other. If one of us is struggling emotionally, then we lift the other up. We're always holding each other accountable. We're challenging each other, bringing diverse perspectives all the time. So whenever she's working on something, it's always interesting to see how, like, this is especially visible with the Inktober challenge, and you see that both Barbara and I are working on the same prompts every day, but we have our own perspective on the prompt.
Yeah.
And how we visualize that is super interesting to see.
Yeah. It's literally a peek at our brain.
Yes. And it's fascinating to see that.
Yeah.
Last
I
night,
agree.
Barbara and I were working on this new challenge of designing some logo concepts every day. And we were like, okay, we're going to create a brief for ourselves, or have a website created for us online, a fake company brief to create a logo. And the challenge would be that we would quickly do a brainstorm by ourselves, and then we both have to come up with a concept for the logo. And it's interesting to see how Barbara approaches this and how I approach it differently. And it was interesting to see how her experience as an illustrator brought in more artistic flair to her logo designs, when my design experience with work brought in a more traditional style of logo design, which was really contrasting from each other.
Yeah, but that's like the cool thing when you're, when you have a tribe, or you have even one person, you're exposed to different perspectives. And
yes.
It's always very interesting to see that, because you can have two people with the same skills, but they still have two different brains.
Yes.
So you gotta talk to each other, you gotta be exposed to each other, and it's only helpful to take on challenges together sometimes. It's actually really fun to do.
Yes.
You grow so much together.
And you can count this also as some sort of a collaborative project anyway, because you're working on the same thing, maybe not the same final piece, but you're working on something together, even if it's your own version of it. It's fun to work together towards something, towards a mutual goal.
Yeah.
So, work together, bounce off each other ideas, and keep growing. That's the best and fastest way to grow.
Yeah. And out of all that, I'm sure that there will be some friendships that will come.
Yes.
And I think I can speak for everybody that building friendships over 30 is not so easy anymore.
That's true.
It's not so easy when you're, not in school anymore, and you're not exposed to so many people.
School is so far away from
Exactly, right? What am I even talking about? No, I know that's exactly the thing. And to find like-minded people is not always so easy to do. But it's important to look for them anyway, and to try to make these connections anyway, even if it's tough, even if you have to get out of your comfort zone and go talk to somebody and you feel uncomfortable, do it anyway. Just do it anyway, because, it's going to be such a boost, and we all need more friends, right?
Yes.
Everybody needs somebody to, to lean on, to say
somebody to lean on.
To say a cliche. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yes. And also, lastly, you never know how being part of a tribe can open up new opportunities. Of course, there was the networking opportunities where you collaborate with other people, but also just opportunities to go to events together or do activities together. So what I mean by this is, for example, we've done a few artist markets with other artists that we personally know, close friends of ours who are also in creatives themselves. And we've done artist markets that have been very fun and exciting to do as an artist. We've also gone to design conferences, etc., and with people from our tribe, so that we're constantly trying to stay up to date with the latest trends or what the industry is like and what's happening. So these kind of opportunities only came to us because we were connecting with other people. We weren't necessarily looking for this opportunity outside, like by ourselves. We weren't Googling like, oh, what's happening? We weren't in that mental space for that. Although having done this a few times because other people have invited us to be a part of it, has been such a valuable experience. So I think now it opens up, like Barbara and I are like, okay, we should do these things more.
Yeah.
But you never know where people might make you want to be part of these different activities that take place, which can really help you grow.
Yeah, and honestly, it's more fun together anyway.
Yes.
Going to an event by yourself can maybe seem very daunting to do if you're maybe an introverted person, or maybe you're new in the field and you feel, I don't know, intimidated or whatever. But if you have somebody to go with, then you'll feel a little bit stronger, and that can be somebody from your tribe, for example. So it's really very valuable, I think.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say these are like I know we didn't really go through it maybe in a specific order or anything, but basically I would say these are the high level reasons why you should be part of a tribe, or at least reasons that matter to us, why we connect with people, why we like to be part of different groups and try to keep ourselves within a certain community rather than isolating ourselves as artists.
Yes.
And you might wonder, how do you go about joining a group or being part of a group, Barbara?
Well, there's different ways. You can start in your own network and just see who's there. There might be more people than you think that are working towards a similar goal. So go out there and talk to some people. You can start there in your friend circle.
Start with saying hello.
Start with saying hello. That's a good one. But of course, there's also a whole bunch of types of communities online that you can also be a part of. While these are, it's always good to be exposed to more people. I think it's valuable too. But I think it's also important to have like maybe a small group of people that you actually know, that you feel comfortable to actually talk. Like something that we also are incorporating now in our, how to say, life.
Yes.
Is we're trying to have a bit of a group going where we have accountability going, where we will be talking about our goals, about our, what are our plans, how are we going to go about it, and I think it's going to be really helpful for everybody in the group to also learn and grow.
Yes. And the group is a mix of different creatives. We've got actors, we've got designers, we've got craftsmen.
Yes.
So it's a wide range of people. It's a small group, but the point is that you don't need to only connect with gouache artists or watercolor artists or graphic designers. The more be open for some diversity, because you never know how it can trigger your inspiration.
Yeah, and a lot of this, pursuing a creative career, it's a lot of working on yourself. It's a lot of mindfulness, and that's where a group can also help lift you up.
Yeah.
Because those things will be similar in whatever path they have taken.
Yes. So it's very easy these days to find groups online, whether it's forums, Facebook groups, like Barbara said, WhatsApp groups, communities, things like that. So just what the hard part is starting to say hi and just can I join your community? Can I be a part of it? Yeah. And the landmarks of a good community is are people respecting the rules? Are people being respectful to each other, kind to each other?
Yes.
Supportive?
Yes.
Are they being present, or are they fairly inactive? These are telltale signs of whether you're part of a good group or not. Where you feel like there is a personal benefit, like, okay, I've been in this Facebook group for 2 months. Have I personally grown from being part of this group or not, for example?
Yeah.
So just start by putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And that leads us nicely to, I would say, please do visit our Etsy shop. I don't know how that leads nicely to that.
That was kind of random, Charlie. But hopefully.
So I randomly lead you to our Etsy shop. Please check it out. That's where we have all our products with our art on it.
If you're curious about the art that we make, or if you're curious about the Inktober challenge, make sure to check out our Instagram profiles. You can find them all through our website, also Charbi.Online.
Yes.
And we'll put it in the description as well.
Yes. And lastly, if you really like this episode and if it brought you a lot of value, insight, or just had some of those aha moments, or I recognize with those moments, I hope you do leave a positive review and also subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. And I hope to see you guys again in the next one.
Okay then. Bye.
Toodles.